Haldo and hello and good evening and greetings and so on and so forth, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Arcanum of Steamworks and Magic Obscura. It's time for us to set forth again into the glorious city of Tarant. As you can see, we're bringing Virgil and Magnus today, and to an extent, this particular chapter is going to involve a little general adventuring around, seeing the sights, and getting to know Tarant a little bit better. And part of that is going to be taking a bit of a look around Kensington Broadway. If, of course, Magnus can hurry his tiny, tiny dwarf legs along. Now, I did have something special in mind for this particular level up, since we're now at level 10. However, you may notice that charisma is in green. This is because we have a bonus to it from Madame Two Swords' Gypsy Blessings. Made us just a little bit more charismatic, and I think we should capitalise on this. So if we pop charisma up to 12, well, amongst other things, next level we'll be able to increase our persuasion a little bit more. But more than that, it permits a third follower, which I'm sure will come in useful soon enough. So here's this H.T. Parnell's. See if you can guess the description. Two-headed horse. A cow. The bizarre two-headed bovine of Vendergroth. Looks a little familiar, really. This, the sign in front of this object claims it is a petrified dragon, but it looks more like a poorly carved piece of rock. This looks a little bit familiar, and a little the nature of this particular charade. Anyway, the plaque of this place reads "Amazing miniature steam engine, actually works." This appears to be some sort of rock. The plaque on it reads "The Evil Aronnax." The plaque on this display reads "Authentic Cree Shrunken Head." Inside this case is a clumsily stitched assemblage of moth-eaten bear pelts. The plaque identifies this obvious fake as the Stillwater Giant. This plaque reads "The Amazing Gar, the world's most intelligent orc." Wait, oh, this isn't actually stuffed.
Gar, world's smartest orc. You have got question?
I don't know. What is your area of expertise?
I know much things. Gar tell all. Politics, mathematics, tea.
Oh yes, what can you tell me of the politics of Tarant, then?
Tarant, foremost representative democracy in Arcanum. Chairman Willowsby try align Tarant with Caledon, cause him much trouble. Councilman Wraith call for him to step down. Us invade Caledon. He not like Caledon because it monarchy. Main question me, can democracy join with monarchy and not destabilize?
Okay, I'll grant that it is, yeah, world's smartest orc. I didn't know any of that, so what else can you tell me of politics in Arcanum, Gar?
Cumbria kingdom dying. Refuse all technology. Lose all provinces. Gar think King Praetor stupid. Other places side Caledon or Tarant. Few try be alone.
Having experienced that firsthand, I can agree. King Praetor most certainly is stupid. But what else can you tell me about?
I know much things. Gar tell all. Politics, mathematics, tea.
Mathematics? Okay. Tell me, what is 4,573,200 divided by 6,543?
Gar not genius. Gar smarter than other orcs. Not smarter than Professor of Mathematics. I know 25 times 40 equals 1,000. No other orc tell you that.
Are you trying to insult me? We share blood, you know.
But you so superior to Gar. You have human blood. You smart. Gar only smart compared to other pure orc, not half orc.
Don't murder him. He's just, he's just an orc raised in Tarant. As we've seen the other orcs here, they don't have a grand time. Obviously, he's being conditioned by the brutal nature of this system. Okay then, what else can you tell me about?
I know much things.
Yes, I know.
Gar tell all. Politics, mathematics, tea.
Tea?
Yes, Gar like tea. Gar civilized. Gar say Earl Grey best. Made from random black teas and oil from the bergamot plant. Excellent, Gar say.
Surely you jest. Everybody knows green teas are superior to black.
Oh, come now, that is rubbish. Green tea is for the foreign constitution, not for consumption by those with discerning... Gar don't like green tea.
What? Why are you acting the idiot? You're meant to be smart.
Gar not idiot. Gar smart. Listen here, sir. Have you ever conversed with a purebred orc? You'll not be in for a scintillating conversation. Of that I can assure you.
But isn't the point of all this that you are smarter than other orcs?
Of course. But people will not accept a cultured orc. The very idea is preposterous. They would begin saying I was an half-orc, or even deduce my truth. What I meant to say was, it is more effective showmanship for me to appear every bit the orc, and to say brilliant things.
Deduce your true what? You're not a purebred orc.
Garfield Thelonius Remington III, of pure human stock at your service. I am not orc at all. Well, one can assume that somewhere in my lineage there exists orc blood simply from looking at me. But my direct antecedents, my parents and grandparents, were fully human. Imagine their shock when I was born.
Well, why would you do this? I mean, frankly, it's rather demeaning. As someone who grew up of mixed parentage, I wouldn't be caught dead doing this. I would probably shoot any man who tried to make me do it.
I'm certain you are familiar with the scorn heaped upon those such as yourself, being of partial orcish blood. Imagine what it must be like for me in this life, being treated as a full-blooded orc. Though this may seem demeaning, it is better than being spit on in the streets, or being no more than a slave in a factory.
You should have taken on my life, running from the law, killing as I please. I'd accuse you of cowardice if you hadn't made the better choice. Well, are you owned by this museum then, or are you free to leave?
I am a bit of an indentured servant of Mr. Parnell's. He paid my parents a good sum of coin to have me come work for him.
You know, I take this back. You must have had quite cruel parents to sell you off like that.
Nonsense. I sold myself to Mr. Parnell over their objections. They were treated with scorn and derision because of me. My father lost his employment, reputation, and his social standing. But even then, they would do nothing but love me as their son. The coin I received from Mr. Parnell has given them a comfortable life and rescued them from the poverty I caused.
Oh. Garfield, if you don't mind if I call you Garfield. You are a more noble a more noble man than I. How long is your contract? How long are you meant to be on display here?
I will most likely stay here for the remainder of my existence. I have nothing else to do with my life. It's not so bad, actually. The only dreadful aspect of this existence is the sheer boredom. You cannot imagine the idiocy of the common folk I must contend with on a daily basis.
Oh, I'm sure I can. Apparently I just kicked over some of that stand in frustration. That's how aware I am. Well, why don't you join with me? I mean, I can at least promise it won't be boring.
While that sounds intriguing, I am indentured to Mr. Parnell for years to come, as I have said. It would cost quite a bit of coin to free me from my obligations.
Tell you what, if I were to secure your freedom, would you come travelling with me?
Of course. I would find it invigorating to travel Arcanum, I believe.
Well, then I shall try to negotiate on your behalf. This overly dressed man, I'm wearing exactly the same thing, is presumably Mr. Parnell. Hello. Who might you be? I am H.T. Parnell, world-famous showman and collector of all that is strange and fabulous. At the risk of being drawn into a lengthy explanation, what is this place? This is my Emporium of Wonders, home to several of the world's most intriguing exhibits. Okay, might I indulge upon you to answer some questions? Of course. I'd like to ask about your objects. Which of our exotic, intriguing objects would you like to know more about? What's that strange-shaped rock meant to be? That is the face of none other than Arronax, mysteriously burned into the rock by mystical forces during his banishment to the Nether Realms. So Arronax? Who's that? Arronax was evil incarnate. He tried to take over the world and establish elves as the ultimate rulers of all the races. Luckily, Mazarin crushed him like the worm he was. Okay, this is ringing some bells here. What else can you tell me about Arronax and Mazarin? Not much more, sad to say. Theology and ancient lore are not my strong suit. Perhaps you should talk to a priest of the Benari. I think they have a temple around here somewhere. I'd like to ask about your other objects. Which of our exotic, intriguing objects would you like to know more about? What's that small head? The shrunken head of the barbarians of Cree. It is told that there are still tribes of nomadic barbarians roaming the southeast who are meant to be the descendants of the very tribes that followed the Bane of Cree on his murderous rampage across Arcanum. This head is all that was left of an adventurer who went looking for them. I'd like to ask about your other objects. I was intrigued by that miniature engine. This is an exact scale replica of the first Bates steam engine, made exclusively from toothpicks and string. And it works, too. What about some of these creatures? Which of our fantastic creatures would you like to know more about? What can you tell me about the cow with two heads? Ah, that enigmatic cud-chewer was shot on safari in the wastes of Vendagroth. Who can say what sorcery or forbidden scientifics were called upon to create such a beast? You might not think of it to look at it, but it was a man-eater, it was. You know, I swear I've seen a two-headed cow somewhere before. Not unless you've been to these blighted wastes of Vendagroth, sir. The Arcanum was created by many of the same people who created the original two Fallout games. It's worth noting. What's the story regarding the petrified dragon? Magnificent, is it not? I find it one of my saddest exhibits, a remnant of the world gone by. The young dragon, separated from its mother for all eternity. You know, it looks like a carved piece of rock, and badly at that. What are you insinuating, sir? Nothing. Can I ask about your other exhibits? Certainly, as I am here only to serve the needs of my patrons. Which of my astounding exhibits would you like to inquire about? Okay. Well, can you tell me about your Stillwater Giant pelt? That is one of my most famous exhibits. It creates a sense of awe just to behold a ferocious creature of that magnitude, a holdout from Arcanum's distant past. What must it have been like to see herds of those creatures hunting their prey? How did you come to acquire the pelt? Franklin Payne, world-renowned adventurer, under contract to me, of course, had tracked the elusive creature to its lair, only to have the shifting winds betray his presence. Before he could raise his weapon, the awful beast attacked. And then what happened? Armed only with a small dagger, Payne leapt upon the creature. Much blood was shed by man and beast, but Pain emerged victorious after impaling the creature on one of its own claws. Are you sure Pain didn't rip its heart out with his bare hands? Oh, that is rich! It is so rare to meet an individual of true wit. A bit of hyperbole never hurts when selling your wares to the local rubes, eh? It's a bit less than I expected. It seems lacking somehow. Ah, yes. Sadly, I believe its day has passed. Looking a bit frayed around the edges, it is. I can't believe people are still flocking to see it. If only that were the case. It lacks its previous drawing power, to be sure. Well, there must be some other way for you to make money from it. I'm afraid not. It's humorous, actually. There was such a flurry of publicity when I insured it for a phenomenal amount of money. People who swore it was a fake came just to see something that was insured for so much. Lent it an air of authenticity, it did. If I sneak it out of here, you can report it stolen. What an ingenious idea. I like the way you think, sir. Here's the key to its case. Slip it out when no one's looking. Thank you. Let me know if I can ever be of help. Wait, why did I just talk myself into stealing an obviously fake giant pelt? Okay, let's talk about Gar. How may I be of help? I'd like to speak with you about Gar. Actually, no, first I want to ask about this. Okay. What can you tell me about Gar the Orc? Ah, yes, Gar the Orc. I rescued him from some orc slavers on one of my many expeditions searching for oddities in exotic lands. They had recently captured him and were about to execute him when I intervened. They mistook his intelligence for supernatural possession, you see. So, black roots in exotic land, rife with superstitious orc slavers? What are you saying, sir? I'm saying that Tarantian law takes a dim view of human slavery. Gar may well be human, but he is not a slave. I have a legally binding contract. I've treated him well in all the years he has been in my employ. I'm afraid the truth has never gotten in the way of a good newspaper story. You wouldn't dare! You must see how easily someone could ruin your reputation, though. So, you're not blackmailing me? But what can be done to protect myself from this type of slanderous attack? Could you take him with you? He's too much of a liability for me. I would be glad to help you out. Oh, thank you. Thank you! Please, it was nothing. Goodbye, sir.
Greetings, sir.
I have managed to procure your freedom, Gar.
I'm ready to follow you, sir.
Okay, let us be on our way then. So, Gar.
Yes, sir. What would you have me do?
Just a couple of questions.
What can I answer for you?
Well, what can you tell me about Tarant?
Tarant? Not as much as I would like, as I didn't get out much, understandably. Some days Mr. Parnell would take me out for strolls to drum up business, though. I thoroughly enjoyed myself on those outings, as I am now. Have I mentioned how grateful I am to you for allowing me to travel with you?
That's great, but what can you tell me about Tarant?
Oh, yes, of course. Please excuse my ramblings. Well, on the southwest side of town is the Boil. Disgusting place, filled with orcs and other refuse. And then, of course, up in the northeast we have the upper classes.
I would think you'd be sympathetic to the orcs.
Why? Because I suffer the same indignities at the hands of civilized people? I think not. Those barely sentient monstrosities that I happen to resemble deserve their lot in life. I cannot feel remorse for them now that they're being put to work for the common good, instead of being allowed to skulk around some dungeon or to waylay passers-by.
Remember who you're talking to, Gar. Couple more questions.
Yes, sir. What can I answer for you?
What can you tell me about Gilbert Bates?
I've never met Mr. Bates personally. He's much too famous to walk the streets. He'd be mobbed everywhere he went. I have had rather long and boring conversations with that Appleby fellow about Mr. Bates, though. I've never seen anyone hate someone else so much in my life.
Appleby hates Mr. Bates. Why?
Well, imagine that. I cannot rightly say. After the long, tedious hours I've sat and listened to him drone on, I still cannot tell you exactly why he hates Mr. Bates. Professional jealousy, envy, who can say? Mr. Bates is a genius and Mr. Appleby is a fool. I suppose that is reason enough.
Where does this Appleby fellow live?
I believe he lives somewhere along Low Dervish Way in the factory district. I'm not certain, though.
Well,
yes, sir. What can I answer for you?
Do you know where Gilbert Bates lives?
I believe Mr. Bates resides at the northeast end of the Kensington Broadway, if I recall correctly.
Excellent. Well, it's good. Means we know broadly where to go. But, as I say, we have... I mean, yes, there is the pressing matter about the evil one, but... You know, no, I'm not quite ready. We don't know what sort of, reception we're going to get from this Bates fellow. I'd rather take a little bit more time working on my, I suppose you call it my persuasive ability. Just generally preparing myself, you know? City Hall Department. Records. Lovely. Stillwater! The Stillwater Giant. We're supposed to meet Joachim in Stillwater. Or maybe get directions from there. Well, we'll get to that in time. 93 Eastern Avenue, the Zoological Society. Ah! That should be a bit of a treat, Gar. In fact, you know what, Gar? Now that you're free from your life of servitude, I feel that it is high time you had a bit of time around town. I think, yes, I think we're going to take some time, relax, see the sights, and then get on with this dreadful business about this mysterious ring. Okay, so what do we have here? This petrifying egg was found in the lair of the great dragon. The child inside was only months from hatching before Bellerogram was killed. This ancient iron chest was unearthed in the lair of Bellerogram. It seems to be older even than the dragon itself. No one has ever been able to open it. Before you is a replica of the skull of Bellerogram, the last of the great dragons. The body of Bellerogram was discovered by Sir Walter Ginsberg in 1756. The lair, which houses the complete skeleton, is an open exhibit and can be visited here. Oh, maybe take some time to do that at some point then. Another half-orc! Excellent! Hello! Welcome to the Transition Zoological Society. How might I help you today? Just taking a look around. Yes, go ahead. The exhibits are open to the public. Enjoy! Right. Hello. It's nice to meet you. Who are you? Well, if you must know, I'm the head of this here Zoological Society. Dr. Tristan Fenwick. That's me. At your service and all that nonsense. What does the Zoological Society do? Well, according to the catalogue, we deal with animals and animal life, including the study of the structure, physiology, development, and classification of animals. Some would say we just waste the taxpayers' coin. May I ask you some questions? Ask away. I can't actually think of any, so have a good day, sir. It's quite a nice sort of area, really. Stand Avenue. University Court. Ah, so this must actually be the University of Tarrant. We should head back. We should bring Jaina here. Give her the opportunity to just, take some time. Maybe attend some classes. It's clearly a lecture hall with some lovely blue seats. University Court, Library of Tarrant. Pardon me, sir, but do you have a membership? Membership? Membership for what? All of our scholarly patrons have memberships. The Library of Tarrant requires memberships for anyone who wishes to read our volumes. We find it keeps out the bad element. Okay, and what is the cost of a membership? Must we continue this charade? It is obvious to you that it must be obvious to you that this is not your element. The pub is located right down the street. Please, just tell me how much a membership is. A lifetime membership costs a mere 5,000 coins. I'll be off then. Sorely considering murdering this woman. Going onwards from there. Actually, it doesn't cost anything to read the on display books, but that I think this will take some time, and it will mostly involve me reading. So I'm going to dedicate a whole sort of sub-chapter to that people who aren't interested in just listening to me read books can skip over. I'm also experiencing some technical difficulties at the moment with sound, so please excuse me for just a moment.
Oh, sir.
Okay. 24 University Court, don't know who that is. Known city dweller. Yes, what can I do for you? Hello, sir. Might I ask who you are? I'm Benjamin Gershwin, Doctor of Phrenology. How can I be of service? Nice to meet you, Benjamin. Did you say phrenology? Phrenology, it's the science of the head. You see, every man and woman's head is characterized by different bumps and ridges. Through studying these, I attempt to extrapolate the personality of the individual involved. It's dreadfully interesting and phenomenally accurate. Well, will you read my head? Surely, if you'll just lower your head and turn to the right. Oh, quite interesting. I would surmise unquestionably that you are indeed a half-orc. Your powers amaze me, Benjamin. Yes, I know. But remember, it's not me, it's science. And phrenology is the science of the future. Well, if you deal with heads, maybe you know about skulls. I've got a question about you about some skulls. Yes, what is it? I'm interested in the skulls of the Renar Siamese twins. Ah, yes. Interesting case, that. They were elvish debutantes who were joined at their hip their whole lives. Scandalous characters as well. Stories of their exploits still float around the elite Tarantian social circles. Is there anything else that you can tell me about them? Well, there are quite a few interesting rumours in the air about their heritage not being completely elven, and bizarre conspiracy theories somehow centering around them. I had the opportunity to examine the skulls before they were interred, though, and I can tell you unequivocally that they were pure-bred elves. All the gossip is definitely untrue. Well, thank you for your time. Must investigate the grave at some point. Should die. Huh. Okay. Yes, what can I do for you? Greetings, sir. Might I ask who you are? I am Professor Aldous Buxington, and I am the head of the Religion Department here at Tarrant University. And you are? I'm Sir Jonathan Huntley White. Might I ask you a few questions? Certainly. Tell me about what you do here. Me? Oh, I've been here at Tarrant University for many years. Mostly I teach classes, but I still do a fair bit of research when I can find the time. But what sort of research are you doing right now? Well, currently I'm studying the older pagan religions of Arcanum. As I'm sure you're aware, the Panari have been the favoured religion in Arcanum for the last 1,500 years. I wasn't. But in the years before the Age of Legends, there were many religions and many gods. Each of the races had certain gods that they prayed to, and those gods are what I've been studying. I see. Could I ask you a few questions about the pagan religions? Of course. Tell me about the pagan gods. There were 12 pagan gods in all, 8 lesser gods, one for each of the 8 races, 3 greater gods, and the All-Father. Offerings were made to the gods in the hopes of getting their blessing, and each god demanded a different offering. I've done quite a bit of research on them. I wrote a book about them. Would you like a copy? Not just yet. Could I ask a few more questions about the pagan gods? Of course. Are there still pagan temples? Yes, there are still individuals who worship them as well. Both the Order of Halcyon and the Cult of Geshiana are examples. Most of the ancient pagan temples are in ruin now, but you can still find them scattered throughout Arcanum, and some still have their altars intact. Well, I have a few more questions about the pagan religions. Do you believe in the pagan gods, Professor? Do I believe in them? That's an interesting question. I've studied almost everything there is to know about the pagan gods. I visited some of their temples, even made an offering or two. All I will say is this. I've seen enough to know that these ancient beliefs are not to be trifled with. Tread lightly amongst the old gods, my friend. A few more questions about pagan religions. What's that diagram on the wall? Ah yes, we call that Mazarin's Mystery. Who was Mazarin? Mazarin was an elven mystic who did his share of research into the old religions. About 3,000 years ago, he wrote the Book of the 12 Powers, which was a fairly cryptic analysis of the pagan religions. According to Mazarin, there was some sort of a deeper connection between all of them. What do you mean, deeper connection? Well, Mazarin believed that the gods and their powers were somehow interwoven, and this diagram is supposed to explain how they're related. Certain gods don't get along with other gods, so-and-so begat so-and-so, get blessed by this fellow and that fellow curses you. That sort of thing. I see. Could you explain the diagram to me? Well, there is an excerpt from the Book of the 12 Powers that might help to explain what it means, but no one has ever been able to solve Mazarin's mystery. That excerpt is in the book I wrote. I see. Well then, can I have the book, please? There you go. Is there anything else I can help you with? A few more general questions. No, actually, I think that's everything. Have a good day. Bookseller. Oh, nice. Welcome to the University Bookstore. May I help you? What sort of books do you sell here? Well, as I'm sure you're well aware, Trent University is an institution dedicated to the study of science. The books we sell here are about science and technology as well. I see. What help are these books, friends? The manuals that we sell are very helpful in learning general knowledge about a particular technological discipline. If you find yourself spending most of your time studying electricity, but are interested in learning a little something about chemistry, then the chemistry manual will give you a little added expertise without having to commit to a full chemistry degree into chemistry. Oh, thank you very much. These are incredibly useful. Now, I absolutely couldn't afford one earlier, but for instance, when you make bullets with the fan schematic, it requires some explosive knowledge. Instead of getting a point in explosives, although I did want that point anyway, you can purchase one of these manuals, and it will give you, I think, about 10 skill points, which is really useful for crafting things that that you have schematics for, but don't otherwise specialize in. Oh, excuse me, I get so involved in these telegrams people send me. I get questions from everywhere about demons. Amazing, really. Who are you? Oh, an Arthur. I get so few opportunities to study those of your type. May I examine your head? My head? I suppose it can't hurt. Yes, of course. Perfect. You were about to introduce yourself to me, you crazy man? Yes, of course. You will have to excuse my excitement. I am new to this whole phrenology discipline. My colleague, Professor Gershwin, is doing wonderful things in the field. Yeah, we've met. By way of introduction, I am Professor Eakins, scientician and expert of demonology. Scientician and demonologist? You're mixing magic and science. I am a scholar involved in research. Magic and science are the opposite sides of the same coin. To be truly knowledgeable, one must study a tremendous variety of things. Specialization is for insects and orcs. I mean ogres. I am sorry, I meant no offense. A slip of the tongue, you see. Quite all right. What can you tell me about demonology? Well, it concerns the study of demons, obviously. I was just thinking about a rather humorous one, actually, name of Gorgoth. Can you tell me about this? Gorgoth was a mindless demon roaming the countryside. He had an insatiable appetite and would eat anything he came across. And, this is the funny part, he happened upon a village of halflings and ate them all. It seemed he had a sweet tooth for halflings. Isn't that great? I guess. What happened to him? Oh, he was banished to some other realm or some such nonsense. That's what they used to do with troublemakers back in the day. Right, might I ask you a few more questions? Yes, what questions may I answer for you? What can you tell me about your scientific endeavours? I wish there were more to tell, actually. I'm just scratching the surface of the new ways of scientificdom, such as my exploring of phrenology. Science will solve all the world's ills within 50 years, you know. Right. Okay, I'm afraid I must be on my way. Ugh. I'm less than perfectly impressed with the college or the university here, but maybe Jane will get some use from the technical manuals. And I'm pretty sure it doesn't cost 5,000 coins for a membership. We're coming back here with a few points in haggle and a better suit, and we're rubbing her nose in it. Okay. Need to go steal an elven tomb artifact. Need to sort out this whole thing. Oh! We need to meet the gentleman who was our representative for the Thieves Guild. Right. Steam Rail Station. I think we're looking at the Tarantian Docks. Okay. Actually, no. What's that about? Let's head back to the Vermilion Station. Actually, we should take a nap. Hello? What was that? Outlander finds stolen painting! Get your paper here! Yes, they're all boys. Yes, sir! Do you have any newspapers for sale? What newspaper are you looking for? Give me today's paper. I'll be 2 coins to be exact. Have you got the coins for it? Doubtlessly. It is finished. Weird phrasing, but okay, you have my gratitude. Outlander finds stolen painting. Local thieves foiled by hero. Local socialite Evelyn Gangsberg announced the return of her painting, the famous Kurgan and Persephone, by an unknown gentleman of undesirable resourcefulness and bravery. The painting, found in Mulliganburn Alley, has been missing since it was first reported stolen by the Gangsbergs last week. The circumstances surrounding the painting's return are vague, but Mrs. Gangsberg had the utmost confidence in the character of the gentleman who returned it. Oh, he was just a gem. Of course I paid him for his services, but his motivations were singularly chivalrous. If only all the men in this dreadful city were the same. Mr. Gangsberg was unavailable for comment. And to the stranger who found the painting, this reporter takes his hat off to you, sir. Durant is a better place because of you. Taxes are up. City council meetings. Weather. Right then. Yeah, let's we're going to take a nap. It's getting towards, it's what, 4:45. It's April. It's the 15th of April. It's now been 3.5 months since we started this whole adventure. Dear Lord. Time flies. I mean, a lot of that was spent travelling, but what was it? It's all started in January the 1st, the New Year. In February we reached, early February we reached Dunholm. Late February we're in Black Root. And then, yeah, March just sort of, we just lost the whole of March just travelling. Goodness me. Right then, chat. Bit of a rest, and we'll continue in the morning. See you then. Right then. Magnus has taken the time to forge a weapon for Gar. Gar, it turns out, can't wear any ordinary armour, but then we can't afford any normal armour. And we've been... Yeah, and Jaina has headed off to the university, so we might see her for a while. She said she might return to her home in Dunholm when she's done. I swear I can hear squeaking. Why are you loitering there, sir? Be quick about it now, I have to be on. I don't believe I have the pleasure. Who are you? Oh, excuse my rudeness, sir. My name is Simon Plough. I'm a bit distracted as I'm in a bit of a fix. What's your problem, sir? I recently inherited these warehouses here, and I need to sell them to pay off my debts, but I have a rat problem. A big rat problem, and no one will purchase them from me until the rats are eradicated. Well, do you have 3 armed men? Well, 4. I've got bullets. How much would you pay for me to do away with these rats? That is the problem, sir. I have no money, and I need the money the sale of these properties would give me, desperately. You can take whatever you find as you're cleaning them out as your payment, if you like. There should be at least a few valuable odds and ends of a technological nature. Ah, fair enough, then. I suppose that will do. Give you a bit of exercise, eh, Gar? I'll take care of it. Thank you. Please inform me when all the rats are dead. Right, well, so I'll take a look around. Ooh, casing, shavings. It's be useful.
Yes, sir. What would you have me do?
Sorry, Gar. My mistake. Oh dear Lord. Hopefully, what kind? Fast tempest. Oh dear Lord. You see, Gar has his stuff together. He knows what he's doing. Gar, you're the most competent fellow on this team. And it's been an excellent choice bringing you along. Key to the warehouse. We need to buy a key ring. Keep putting it off. Right then. Ready, lads? In we go. Oh dear Lord. Look at the size of that. Oh, really? That's just embarrassing. Oh dear. Gentle sirs.
Are you blind? What in God's... I mean, better luck next time.
Kind sirs, if we could be, in fact, so kind. Equip, weapon. You see, amongst other things, the balanced sword is just an excellent weapon, and none of these gentlemen are so magically inclined for it to be a problem. Excuse me, sir. I need to work on my shooting skills, but we have the basics down. Okay, I think that's everything. A couple more over here, but otherwise... It's almost a rite of passage for adventurers to be ratting. Oh! That did enough damage to level up. Wow. Right then. So we've leveled up. Let's put in springs, fertilizer, good for bombers. Oh, dwarven ore. That won't be useful to us yet, but when Magnus is leveling up with us, we've picked up Gar about the right time. When Magnus levels up enough, he will be able to produce the featherweight axe, which requires dwarven ore, and is a bit of an improvement on the balanced sword, and will be able to actually punch through things. Break if we can't get in, say unlock a chest, we can just break it instead. Ah, revolver chamber. That will be excellent. If I'm going to take that. They're actually quite expensive. The ones we found in the what's it called? Shady Hills. It's not Shady Hills. What was it? I spent 3 episodes there. I cannot remember the name. That's really embarrassing. Well, just have to do. Yes, your warehouse is free of rats, sir. Thank you so much. You could have helped me more than you could know. I'm sorry that I have nothing to give you, but my thanks. Well, money would have been nice, but the ore would actually be quite useful, so that's quite alright. Good day to you, sir. enough to increase our persuasion. We could do with visiting a bar actually at some point. No, we'll sort out that in a bit. Quilton Bend. 19 Quilton Bend. That's the corner of Westall South and Quilton Bend. Okay. Cozy. Word is that you'd be looking to join up with us of the underground, eh? What am I doing for this accent? Michael Caine, right. Word is that you'd be looking to join up with us of the underground, eh? Yes, that would be correct. Fair enough. I have just the job that will grant you full membership status, but I need to go with the basics of the underground with you before I send you on your first job. Alright, I'm listening. Magnus, close your ears. Thieves Underground is a loose confederacy of all the major thieves in all the major cities, you see. We look out for each other and collect useful information on the goings on in our respective cities. If you're being a part of the underground, there is always someone to talk to in a city that can tell you what you might need to be aware of, jobs and such. So I go to the underground to get my jobs. We have an interest in most any job worth doing, and that's not to say you can't freelance a bit, if you know what I mean. When you get your jobs through us though, we've generally got the whole thing sussed out. We've attended to any details that may need attending. All we ask in return is a small portion of the take. And what if I say no? Don't get me wrong, we ain't no enforcers. If you don't want to be a part of this, you can simply go on your way. I must warn you to never talk of this though, regardless if you join or not. We must protect ourselves, you understand? You'd have no problem with another thief working in your cities. Why would we? As I said, we have an interest in any job worth doing. The only way for you to become involved in important jobs is through us. But there's always places to rob, stores and such. We're mostly concerned with the big coin. Sounds good. Count me in. Well, just because I made the offer don't mean you're in, boy. No, you need to do a job for us, and then you'll be a member. Okay, what's the job? Alright then. Tarrant has a fairly extensive sewer system, right? One could use the sewer system for access to quite a number of locations where one has no right to be, eh? Trouble is, it's easy to get lost down there. We've had several try to map them out with little success. Most of them don't return. You want me to map them out? Don't be daft, man. I just told you we've lost several good people attempting to map them already. We need someone to get the old city plans with a full layout of the sewers. City managers have decided that only authorised blokes can see them. I think people might use them for their nefarious purposes, eh? But where are these plans? They're in Department of Water, in the East Hall at 77A Stand Avenue, just past the Bates Mansion. When you bring the plans back, I'll make you a full member. Alright, I'll accept your proposal. I'll return with the plans. Good day. Magnus, you might want to wait outside. Alright. Well, Garfield. This is going to be a little bit interesting. You also might want to do a little bit of waiting outside. Da. 59 Low Dervish Road, Appleby residence. Yep. Gilbert Bates and Cedric Appleby. This was written at the turn of the millennium, mind. And Mr. Appleby was not quite so successful in those days. Well, not as successful as we knew him now. Soon enough, my friend, soon enough. We just need a little bit of tuition on the bits and pieces. Be quick about it now, I have to be on. Where am I? This is City Hall, and I'm the Secretary of the Department of Water and Power, good sir. I need to get a plan of the sewers underneath Tarrant. I'm sorry, sir. That is confidential information. I'm sure you have a legitimate reason for wanting it, but there are others about of a more unscrupulous nature, shall we say. I understand. Good day. We're going to be back in the evening. Just going to spend a bit of time loitering around, enjoying Tarrant, get something to eat. We'll be back shortly. Okay, so the main entrance should be open to the public. Magnus?
Sure.
Garfield?
Right away. Of course, sir.
Let's have a bit of a... Oh, this bit is as well. Excellent. Alright then. Guards are on the outside. Virgil? After you. Save. Because you can absolutely block jam doors if you're not careful. Thank you, Virgil. It's jammed now. Virgil is a much better locksmith than I am, by far. Yeah, if you critically fail lockpicking, jams instead. I should really get a separate pair of picks for Virgil, actually. Oh, come on, instantly? Well, let's find out how often what the odds are seem to be here. Wow, not great. Sometimes it will pick even though it's jammed, but We may wish to use an alternative route of entry. Sadly, we don't actually have any gunpowder. Okay. I'm going to think about this for a bit. I'll come back. So here's the thing. It's not cheating, but it's working within the game's rules. But we will eventually become a better thief. You know, we'll work up our own skills and be able to make this happen of our own steam. But right now, we need a little bit of assistance. You notice these up here. These are called fate points. They occur when you do something significant. In our case, we received at least one for getting Lucan and his minions away from the bridge. I don't know what the other one was for. I think maybe for helping Magnus with the Skylers? In any case, they allow you to... they give you an edge when you need it most. In this case... sorry, we have to disable Virgil temporarily for this. It'll allow our random jiggling to actually open this this lock. Oh, Virgil, by sheer chance I got this open. Who would have thought? Right, so let's put it away. Go back to sneaker and this fellow is completely asleep. So it somewhat increases our chances of successfully picking his pocket. So we can do that. So instantly we can take a look at the map if we want. It's just quite a nice area. You'll see this little bit of the sewers are, these parts are divorced somewhat from the larger sewers. That may or may not become important later. Okay, no need for set.
What is it that you wanted? I'm ready to get going when you are.
Come, Virgil, let's get the others. We will return to Master...
Yes, sir. What would you have me do? I'm ready to follow you.
Okay.
How can I help you? It's about...
Thaddeus Minor, I think the gentleman is. Will grant us the entry we need. Commercial district this time, I think. It's the quickest way to get there. As I say, off screen, I'll be doing a little bit of exploration, just learning the lay of the land. Okay. You asleep? Alright. We'll come back in the morning. Thought he was open at night, this fella. Thaddeus. You've returned. I've got the map of the sewer. Excellent. I could see I've made the right choice in asking you to join us. 300 coins a fair price, eh? Well, thanks. Let me know if I can ever be of help. Now that you're part of the underground, I see nothing but profit in your future, eh? Oh, and before I neglect to be mentioning it, there's a fence down on 11 Low Dervish Road near Devonshire. You ever need to dispose of some hot items? That'd be the place. Good place to bite as well. Any more jobs? I have something. It's not specifically one of our jobs, just an outside request. Cedric Appleby wants something stolen from Gilbert Bates' house. Here's the key to some sort of secret entrance to the Bates place. Appleby ate that bloke with a passion. He'll be residing at 29 Low Dervish Road, if you'd be interested. No, blackmail's not quite my game. Any others? Not for someone with your level of expertise. You have to earn his skills a bit more if you can tackle some of these other jobs I've got. I'll return later then. The Appleby job is interesting, but it's not necessarily one I want to be doing this playthrough. I think, as we've had a little bit of tuition, it's time to finally make our way to Gilbert Bates and get to the root of this mystery once and for all.